Most travelers think luxury means bigger rooms, nicer decor, or higher prices, but that's not actually what defines a luxury resort. Today, I'm breaking down what actually makes a resort luxury and how to tell the difference before you book. Because here's the truth, you can pay luxury prices and still not get luxury experience. And understanding the difference will completely change how you travel. Let's dive in. When most people think about luxury resorts, they think about specific things. Big rooms. The bigger the suite, the more luxurious it must be, right? Expensive pricing. If it costs $800 a night, it must be luxury. Nice design, mobile bathrooms, high-end furnishing, Instagram-worthy interiors. And don't get me wrong, those things do matter, but they don't define luxury. I've seen travelers book properties with gorgeous rooms and sky-high prices and come back disappointed because the experience didn't match the expectations. The room was beautiful, but the service was transactional. The resort was crowded. The staff didn't know their name. The experience felt generic. That's not luxury, that's just expensive. So what is luxury? Let me break it down. True luxury isn't about what you see in photos. It's about how the entire experience makes you feel. And that comes down to a few core elements that most people overlook. Service quality is the foundation of luxury. And I don't mean polite service. I mean service that anticipates your needs before you voice them. At a true luxury resort, the staff doesn't just respond to requests. They observe. They learn your preferences. They remember the details. You mentioned once that you prefer your coffee with oat milk. The next morning, it's already waiting for you without you asking. That's the difference. Here's something most travelers don't even think about: staff to guest ratio. A true luxury resort has a higher staff to guest ratio than standard properties. Sometimes it's even 2-to-1 or even 3-to-1. That means multiple staff members for every guest. Why does that matter? Because it allows for genuine personalization. Staff aren't stretched thin. They have time to learn who you are and what you need. At properties recognized by Forbes Travel Guide, which has some of the most rigorous luxury standards in the industry, the ratio is non-negotiable. Luxury is in the details, not just the big, obvious things, the small things. Fresh flowers in your room replaced daily. Turn down service that includes a handwritten note. The way your beach chair is positioned exactly where you left it yesterday. Properties that are part of Relais Chateau, an association of the world's finest hotels and restaurants, are obsessive about this. Their philosophy is that luxury should feel effortless for the guest, which means meticulous attention to every single detail behind the scenes. True luxury is personal. The staff knows your name. They remember you mentioned it's your anniversary. They know you prefer a quiet table away from the kitchen. They stock your minibar with your preferred drinks before you even ask. This isn't about upselling. It's about creating an experience that feels designed specifically for you. Leading hotels of the world properties excel at this. They're independent luxury hotels and resorts that prioritize individuality and personalization over cookie-cutter experiences. And finally, consistency. Luxury isn't just one great moment. It's every moment feeling elevated. From the second you arrive to the moment you check out, the experience should be seamless. No weak points, no service failure, no moments where you feel like you're settling at a 3-star property instead of a 5-star one. Luxury is about how a place makes you feel, not just how it looks. And when all of these elements come together, exceptional service, high staff ratios, attention to detail, personalization, and consistency, that is when a resort truly earns the title of luxury. quick distinction. There's a difference between luxury resorts and luxury hotels. Luxury hotels are typically in cities or urban areas. You're there for the room, the service, maybe the restaurant, but you're exploring the city beyond it. Luxury resorts are immersive. The property is the destination. Everything you need is on site. The experience is more all-encompassing. Both can be luxury, but resorts have to deliver on a broader experience: dining, activities, atmosphere, not just a beautiful room. Now, let me tell you something that might surprise you. A hotel can be rated 5-star and still not feel luxurious. I've seen it happen countless times. Here's the scenario I have encountered. A property marks itself as 5-star luxury, or you see it on Google reviews or TripAdvisor reviews. The rooms are gorgeous, the public spaces are stunning, but the service is inconsistent. One staff member is attentive and knows your name. Another treats you like you're interrupting their day. The concierge is excellent in the morning, but by evening, you're dealing with someone who clearly doesn't have the same training or knowledge. That inconsistency breaks the luxury illusion immediately. True luxury properties have rigorous training standards. Every single staff member, from the front desk to housekeeping to the beach attendants, deliver the same level of service. I've seen properties with beautiful facilities that are simply too crowded to feel luxurious. You're fighting for a lounge chair at the pool. You're waiting 20 minutes for a table at breakfast. The beach is packed with people. That's not luxury, that's a capacity problem. True luxury resorts control their guest capacity. They limit the number of rooms. They ensure there's always space, always availability, always the feeling of exclusivity. If you're constantly competing with other guests for access to amenities, it doesn't matter how nice the property is, it won't feel luxurious. And then there's transactional service. This is where the staff is polite, but there's no warmth to it, no genuine hospitality. Every interaction feels like a transaction. Can I help you? Here's your keys. Enjoy your stay. Technically correct, but completely devoid of personality care. A hotel can be rated 5-star and still not feel luxurious. Ratings measure facilities and standards, but they don't measure the feeling of the experience. And that's what separates true luxury from expensive mediocrity. So what do experienced luxury travelers actually notice? What are the tales that separate a true luxury property from one that's just pretending? Let me break down the details most people overlook. The arrival experience tells you everything. A true luxury resort, you're greeted by name before you even reach the front desk. Your luggage disappears and reappears in your room without you even thinking about it. The check-in process is seamless. No standing at a desk filling out forms. It's handled in a lounge or even in your room. At a property that's just going through the motions, you're standing in line. You're waiting. The staff is polite but busy. The magic isn't there. Experienced travelers notice when the staff are aware, not just present, but aware. They notice if you're sitting by the pool for 20 minutes and no one offers you water. They notice if you have to flag someone down for service. They notice if the staff walks past you without making eye contact. At a true luxury property, staff notice you first. They approach you. They offer assistance before you need to ask. They read the room. Pacing is everything. Luxury service should never feel rushed. Even when the property is busy, it should feel calm, unhurried, like there's all the time in the world. When staff are moving frantically, when you feel like they're rushing through interactions, when they're visibly stressed, that's not luxury. Experienced travelers feel the difference immediately. And finally, atmosphere. The luxury properties have a certain atmosphere that's hard to define but impossible to miss. It's quiet without being silent, sophisticated without being stuffy, welcoming without being casual. There's no blaring music, no crowds, no chaos, just calm, elevated energy. Experienced travelers notice the details most people overlook. And once you know what to look for, you can't unsee it. All right, so how do you identify true luxury before you book? How do you avoid paying luxury prices for mediocre experiences? Here's my checklist. As a travel advisor, I'm first looking at the guest capacity. How many rooms does a property have? If it's a 500-room resort, is it going to be very hard for them to deliver intimate, personalized luxury? Boutique properties, around 50 to 150 rooms, tend to deliver better luxury experiences because they can maintain higher service standards and lower guest to staff ratios. This isn't a hard rule, but it's a strong indicator. Don't just look at the star ratings. Read the reviews. What are people saying about the service? Are staff members mentioned by name? Do reviews talk about personalized touches and attention to details? Are reviews generic? Nice rooms, good for food. That tells you it's fine, but probably not exceptional. Look for patterns in the reviews. If multiple people mention the same staff member by name, that's a great sign. It means the staff is making a real impression. Check the property layout. Are the rooms spread out across acres of land? Are they stacked in towers? Sprawling properties with villas and bungalows tend to offer more privacy and exclusivity. High-rise towers can still be luxury, but they're harder to make it feel intimate. Also, look at how amenities are distributed. Are there multiple pools, restaurants in different areas? That spreads out the guest and reduces overcrowding. Finally, pay attention to how properties talk about service. Do they mention staff training? Do they highlight their staff to guest ratio? Do they talk about personalization and attention to detail? Properties that truly prioritize luxury service will talk about it. It's the core to their identity. If all the marketing is about rooms, the design, the facilities, and there's barely any mention of service or staff, that's a red flag. I use this checklist before I even design a luxury trip for my busy professionals because it avoids most of the properties that call themselves luxury but actually don't deliver on their promise. Luxury isn't about price. It's about experience. It's about how you're greeted, how the staff knows your name, how every detail feels considered, how the entire stay flows seamlessly from start to finish. You can have a gorgeous room and still not have a luxury experience. Or you can have a simple room at a property that understands service and feels like royalty the entire trip. The difference is in the details and how you know what to look for. If you're ready to design a luxury vacation where you feel that service is key, you're looking for high quality and personalization, comment luxury so we can set up a free consultation so we can design that luxury vacation experience for you. And if you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button. I break down this insider knowledge of luxury travel every week because understanding what you're actually paying for changes everything. Until next time, remember, you deserve a luxury vacation.